Chapter 31 Wulian Mountain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wulian Mountain is a transcendent force, a force famous for its alchemy. Divine alchemists who have no chance to see them can be found everywhere in Wulian Mountain. As for the top-level alchemists who are offered up by any force outside, I'm sorry, but there are so many of them in Wulian Mountain that they are like dogs, walking all over the place. A middle-grade or low-grade alchemist can only be treated as a handyman boy in Wulian Mountain. Therefore, under such conditions, Wulian Mountain is a well-deserved transcendent force that no one dares to offend. Can you guarantee that you don't need elixirs to heal your injuries, use elixirs to improve your cultivation, and use elixirs to cultivate future generations? What's more, these alchemists are all crazy beings who can use any bargaining chip to deal with an enemy, and all the gods and masters will take action because of these chips. The original purpose of this trip was to go to Wulian Mountain to seek a solution to the problem of Ao Yan's injuries. This was naturally false, but since he was here, he had to go up and take a look. The group of people soon arrived at the foot of Wulian Mountain, where 5 peaks are connected. From a high altitude, the 5 peaks and some surrounding terrain look like a lotus. At the foot of the mountain, a group of 7 people was already standing waiting. "You old dragon, you're not dead yet," a short, fat old man with gray hair who looked like a peach walked forward with a smile and looked at the third elder. "Okay, I am still strong. I heard that you have recently accepted a very good disciple. Will you bring him with you this time? Thanks to you, it will take 1,000 years for me to die." The third elder smiled lightly and held Xiaoling's hand. "This is my dissatisfied disciple. He has only been cultivating immortality with me for 2 years, and he can barely feel some sense of aura." The fat old man glared at the boss. She has been able to feel energetic for 2 years. She is quite talented. Even among the geniuses I know, she can at least be ranked in the top 5. No, it should be the top 6. Sangxinglao felt a little unhappy when he talked about this. He couldn't help but glance at Jiang Xiaobai, who was hanging at the back of the team and talking to Ao Cheng. "Okay, let's not talk more about this. Let's go in and talk about it." The fat old man, with a kind face, led everyone into Wulian Mountain. After passing through the mountain gate, the first thing everyone felt was the rich medicinal fragrance that hit their faces. This is a unique smell of Wulian Mountain. Only after you actually enter it will you find that Wulian Mountain is not like some sect forces, but more like a lively town. The roads are complicated, and there are various shops around the streets. They are basically alchemy rooms and some elixir pharmacies. As for some daily necessities, etc., they are also available here. Overall, this place is just a small town with many alchemy houses. From time to time, some people could be seen running out of the alchemy room in disgrace. Not long after, a muffled sound came from the alchemy room. Apparently, the furnace was not under control. Jiang Xiaobai felt very strange about such a scene and kept looking around, especially since he had Lao Juan's alchemy skills and had a strong say in alchemy. However, after looking around carefully, he had no interest in continuing to read. Although these alchemists were very good, in Jiang Xiaobai's opinion, they were nothing more than that. After passing through the lively area, there is a relatively quiet residential area behind. There are several tall halls in it, which are places used by Wulian Mountain to receive guests. Dragon Valley is one of the top forces, so Wulian Mountain's hospitality standards are very high. "Mortal, how is this place, isn't it good?" Ao Cheng said to Jiang Xiaobai with a smile. Jiang Xiaobai looked indifferent. "It's okay, it doesn't mean much. Look at what you said, this place is the only alchemy force within hundreds of thousands of miles around, especially since there are quite a few top alchemists here. Even I, Dragon Valley, don't dare to act recklessly." Ao Cheng said hurriedly, "When you come to a place like this, shouldn't you be surprised about making alchemy? Do you need it? It's not like I don't know how to make alchemy." Jiang Xiaobai said casually, and then began to look at the layout and furnishings in the hall. However, these words fell in Ao Cheng's ears and made him open his eyes wide. "You can also make pills." There are only a few people in Longgu who know that Jiang Xiaobai can make alchemy. Ao Cheng usually doesn't like to participate in these things, so naturally he didn't know. I know a little bit about it, but having said that, the layout here is not as grand as Dragon Valley after all. Then you think that the Dragon Clan is famous for having many treasures, and even Wulian Mountain has to bow down to it sometimes. Ao Cheng looked proud, but soon he realized that Jiang Xiaobai was deliberately distracting topic. Hey mortal, please explain to me how you can make elixirs. I don't believe you. Jiang Xiaobai ignored it. At this time, he had found a corner seat to sit down and closed his eyes to rest. The third elder and Ao Yen came forward to chat with the alchemy elder from Wulian Mountain. Jiang Xiaobai aroused the curiosity in Ao Cheng's heart, and he suddenly felt uneasy and wanted to find out. I saw him approaching Jiang Xiaobai. Mortal, don't brag to me. Alchemy can only be made by people with extraordinary talents. To put it simply, God allows you to eat this food. You can make elixirs only if you have the talent. You think you can make elixirs with just a little bit more talent than me? It's a joke. My talent is just a little better than yours. Jiang Xiaobai raised his eyebrows. Suddenly Ao Cheng's face turned as red as pig liver, and Jiang Xiaobai was choked and speechless. Do you really know how to make pills? I just understand it a little bit, there's no need to make such a fuss. This place is Wulian Mountain, the territory of alchemists. Do you dare to prove it to me? Why don't you dare? Okay, I'm going to find an alchemist to compete with you. Even if you lose, it doesn't matter. As long as you can refine an elixir today, I will be completely convinced by you. What should I say? Jiang Xiaobai, who was asleep, opened his eyes and raised the corners of his mouth in a subtle arc. His goal was achieved, and the next step was to start the task of conquering Ao Cheng. Let's go, I have nothing to do anyway. Jiang Xiaobai said casually. The two hit it off immediately, and looked like they were collaborating. They took a sneak look at the people chatting, and then quietly left the hall. After walking out of the hall, Ao Cheng began to let himself go, regaining his own characteristics of arrogance and domineering, which was simply called walking sideways. Let's go, let's take you to find an alchemist to test whether it's true or not. But everyone in the hall didn't notice the two people who slipped out, and they were still talking about old times. Elder Jiang, why haven't you seen the holy sun of Wulian Mountain? Are you studying alchemy again? The third elder said with a smile. Don't mention it, you must have heard about the Huaqing pill that appeared recently, right? Elder Jiang shook his head and sighed. The holy sun is possessed by some unknown reason. He keeps mumbling about researching the Qingqing pill every day. There is not even a Qingqing pill, and he doesn't even know its ingredients. How can he study it? Chapter 32 Su Nianliang. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing his words, the expressions of the third elder and Ao Yen changed slightly. They knew how the Huaqing pill came from. For a moment, the two of them looked slightly embarrassed. What's wrong? Elder Jiang asked in surprise. It doesn't matter. I came here this time not only to see your old friend, but also to see how my disciples and I are doing. Halfway through the chat, the third elder started to get down to business. I got the elixir. Can I refine the elixir today? Did you get the treasure lotus flower? In this case, the medicinal materials are complete, but I'm afraid I won't be able to refine it today. You may not be here for a long time, so I'd better stay here for a few days. Then I won't be polite. Anyway, it didn't hurt to stay for a few days with nothing to do. After chatting for a few words, the third elder got up and got ready to do business. Only then did he suddenly realize that Ao Cheng and Jiang Xiaobai were missing. It's broken. I'm afraid that bitch Ao Cheng is out to cause trouble again. Ao Yen frowned when he saw this. Elder Jiang smiled at the side and said, It doesn't matter, Mr. Ao Cheng is also a frequent visitor to Wulian Mountain. Your Highness, there is no need to worry. Let's go and take you to my alchemy room. I have recently developed a good elixir. Medicine. On the town streets of Wulian Mountain, Jiang Xiaobai and Ao Cheng walked side by side, and various lively sounds came from around them, making this place very prosperous. Mortals, don't brag to me. Alchemy is something you can't just say you know how to do. Now this matter of being a coward with me will be over. I won't pursue it. Ao Ching chuckled and said, it's not good if you don't embarrass yourself for a while. Jiang Xiaobai just smiled and said nothing. He was joking, would he be embarrassed? With his current alchemy strength, he could easily defeat the master of Wulian Mountain. Seeing Jiang Xiaobai like this, Ao Ching was happy. Okay, since you want to pretend, I will expose your hypocrisy today. We are just ahead. As they said that, the two of them had already walked to the door of a courtyard. There was a strong fragrance of elixirs coming from inside, and it was obvious that someone was making elixirs there. With the way our young master from Aoqing behaves, he will naturally not care about you, but will bang on the door when he steps forward. Su, please come out and open the door. Ao Ching said with a loud voice. As soon as he started banging on the door, he heard a jingling sound coming from inside, and soon there was a deep muffled sound, creaking. The courtyard door opened, and a thin, frail, disheveled young man with a dark face came out. Ouching, that when the young man saw Ao Ching, he gritted his teeth and said, I owe you a lot in my previous life. Every time I see you, nothing good happens. Please give me a potion of elixirs. Ao Ching looked indifferent and waved his hand. 2 high-grade spiritual stones appeared in his hand. Isn't it just a pot of pills? How much is it worth? How have I ever treated you badly? Seeing the spirit stone, Su Nianliang's expression improved a lot. He snatched the spirit stone and walked inside. Ao Ching immediately stepped into the courtyard. Looking at the furnishings in the yard, Jiang Xiaobai couldn't help but be stunned. It was so poor inside. There was nothing in the huge yard except for an alchemy furnace and some cleaning supplies. The house also looked dilapidated, and those who didn't know it thought they were in a poor family's home. Tell me what you want to do with me. Let me declare in advance that if you ask me to refine the elixir, you have to prepare the elixir yourself. Su Nianliang said, I can't open the pot anymore. It's good if I don't starve to death. Hearing this, Ao Cheng's eyes widened. Damn it, I think I only gave you 100 high-grade spiritual stones last month. That was a high-grade spiritual stone, not an ordinary stone. What did you do? Of course I'm buying elixirs to make elixirs, otherwise what else can I do? I'm so inspired now that I'll continue to make elixirs later. Su Nianliang shouted. Ao Cheng was quite speechless about this. Before coming here, he had roughly told Jiang Xiaobai that he had invested in a mid-level alchemist in Wulian Mountain. He had only practiced for 100 years and had already achieved such an achievement. In the future, he would definitely be a top-level alchemist. Jiang Xiaobai is a little curious. As a second-generation ancestor of the Dragon Clan, you actually want to invest in a mid-level alchemist. Shouldn't you go directly to the divine alchemist to establish a good relationship? According to Ao Cheng's words, those alchemists are so weird that they can't even talk to them for more than 3 sentences. Moreover, they don't care about your status and whether you have money or not, so they are very difficult to deal with. Because of this, Ao Cheng did not inform Su Nianliang of his identity. At this time, Su Nianliang was sitting in front of the alchemy road, cleaning up the discarded medicine residue inside, and said, What on earth do you want to come to me for? It's nothing. This friend of mine brags to me that he is a top-grade alchemist. I won't bring him here to compare with you. Ao Cheng said calmly. Jiang Xiaobai's eyes almost popped out of his head. When did he say that he was a top-grade alchemist? Seeing Ao Cheng lying with a blushing face and a heartbeat, Jiang Xiaobai had a clearer understanding of this guy's shamelessness. It's just you, a top-grade alchemist, it's impossible. Su Nianliang stood up suddenly and walked to Jiang Xiaobai to look at you carefully. How young are you, and your cultivation is only in the qi refining stage. Even if you are born with a strong soul, it is impossible to learn alchemy from your mother's womb. Don't believe me, this friend of mine is very powerful. How about showing me your skills? Ao Cheng looked at Jiang Xiaobai with a smile. Looking at it like that, it was clear that Jiang Xiaobai was going to be embarrassed. And if Jiang Xiaobai dares to say that he is bragging and doesn't know how to make elixirs today, then it will be completely impossible to conquer Ao Cheng. If that's the case, then I'll just practice. Jiang Xiaobai said with a faint smile. Soon Nianliang's face was filled with sneer. It's just you, stop joking, don't say you can refine a high-grade elixir. Even if you can refine an elixir, I will just kneel down and call you daddy. Hey, if it doesn't work, why do you need to find a father for yourself? Jiang Xiaobai laughed, almost making Su Nianliang angry to death. At this moment, the courtyard door was pushed open again, and a young man wearing rich clothes and an impressive appearance walked in. Little Yangzi, what have you been thinking about lately? If you have some time, come over and give me a try. I'm going to start studying the Huaqing pill. That the young man gives off the air of a scholar, and his movements are full of Confucian spirit. Compared with Ao Qing next door, they are two extremes. What shocked Jiang Xiaobai was that this guy immediately said that he wanted to study the Qingqing pill. He refined the Huaqing pill himself. This thing may be easy or difficult to say, but there is no doubt that Jiang Xiaobai knew very well that this Huaqing pill was definitely not something that the person in front of him could study. Chapter 33 Shocking the Holy Sun. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing this scholarly man, a surprised smile immediately appeared on Su Nianliang's face. Holy Sun, why are you here? At this time, Su Nianliang was completely different from before. He was just a licking dog. Looking at that look, I wanted to put my head over and let someone caress it. Don't you need someone to help you? I came to you just now. I didn't expect you to have friends here, so I won't bother you. Saint Zikong smiled elegantly. Don't worry, Holy Sun, these two are not my friends. Don't worry, I'll pack up my things right away and accompany you to make alchemy. Su Nianliang immediately shouted, pretending to pack his things, without even looking at Ao Qing and the two, as if he didn't know them. Su, you guys are really shameless. If you say you don't know him, then you really don't know him? Ao Cheng's eyes widened, and the second-generation ancestor became angry. Su Nianliang was stunned, and his movements slowed down a lot. He looked at the surprised Kong Yuhuai and then at the dark-faced Ao Cheng before he spoke. There is no way. The Holy Sun is our role model in Wulian Mountain. It is an honor for me to be able to help the Holy Sun. I can also learn good things. Time is tight. You can wait until I come back to talk about what happened just now. Ao Qing stepped forward to stop him. No, my friend hasn't shown you his alchemy strength yet. Holy Sun, are you in a hurry? If you're not in a hurry, just sit down and have a cup of tea and chat. It just so happens that my friend is also an alchemist. Please give me some advice if it's convenient. Ao Qing turned to look at Kong Yuhuai. He looks like an old man. As soon as this statement came out, the whole place was in an uproar. Several people looked at this guy with different looks of shock. Ao Cheng, don't act nonsense. If you offend His Royal Highness the Holy Sun, I will never end it with you. Su Nianliang scolded hurriedly. Jiang Xiaobai also looked surprised, and he had already begun to think of a way out. If he provoked the Holy Sun of Wulian Mountain, Ao Qing might be fine because of his identity, but Jiang Xiaobai couldn't. However, Kong Yuhuai was indeed an elegant man full of Confucianism as revealed by his aura. He did not feel angry because of this, but instead smiled. Okay, but it's not really advice. It can only be said to be a common exchange. Look. This is what a kid from a big power should look like, and that bastard in Ao Qing can't even compare. Seeing this, Ao Qing sneered and took out the table, chairs, bench, teapot and spring water from the storage ring. This scene even shocked Kong Yuhuai's concentration. Come on mortal, show your alchemy skills, don't let me down, after all, you have to live up to the hype, right? Ao Qing made tea and looked like he was watching a show. The corner of Jiang Xiaobai's mouth twitched, and then he walked to Su Nianliang's alchemy furnace. While taking out the elixir, he was wondering in his heart, it seems that the script you arranged yourself shouldn't be like this. Didn't he show off his skills in front of Ao Qing, let the other party take a high look at him, and then succeed in the strategy? Why do you look like you're juggling now? Don't waste His Highness the Holy Sun's time. You are not an alchemist at all. Can you stop pretending? Su Nianliang said dissatisfied. Xiaoyangzi, don't slander others like this. Since this Taoist friend has already started preparing to make elixirs, let's just sit and watch. Kong Yuhui said with a faint smile. Ao Qing laughed and said, mortal, if you can't hold it anymore, it doesn't matter if you make a joke now. Jiang Xiaobai didn't bother to take care of Hui, and threw all the elixirs into the alchemy furnace. With a flick of his finger, a white flame appeared under the alchemy furnace. This is the most basic fire control technique, and can be easily learned and applied even in the qi refining stage. Seeing Jiang Xiaobai throw all the elixirs into the alchemy furnace at once, Su Nianliang's eyes widened. Hey, what do you mean by refining elixirs? All such good elixirs are wasted. I'm talking to you, why don't you listen? Ao Cheng, your friend is just messing around. This is the top-grade alchemist you are talking about. This is not bullshit. Su Nianliang's face was full of heartache. Those elixirs were ruined and wasted like this. It would be great to refine the elixirs for him. In this way, under the shocked gazes of the three people, Jiang Xiaobai spent 20 minutes to extinguish the flames under the alchemy furnace. Look at it, I said he is just messing around. The fragrance of the medicine is not even emitted. How can you call it alchemy? There is no elixir at all. It's a pity that there are so many good elixirs. Su Nianliang was heartbroken when Ao Cheng saw this. Although he had a smile on his face, his eyes were slightly narrowed. It is foreseeable that if Jiang Xiaobai is really bragging and fooling around, Ao Cheng will definitely cut off all relations with him immediately. Even if Jiang Xiaobai helped Ao Cheng many times before, Ao Cheng's temper is like this. You can do whatever you want, but you can't deceive him. For a moment, the atmosphere in the small courtyard was a little solid, and Kong Yuhui also frowned. He did not feel the fragrance of the medicine, and such an alchemy technique could not refine the elixir at all. Mortal, where is the elixir you refined? Ao Cheng said with a smile, but Jiang Xiaobai could already hear the chill in his tone. However, he didn't pay much attention and directly opened the lid of the alchemy furnace and took out a round pill. Freshly baked, high-grade foundation building pill. Jiang Xiaobai smiled calmly. As soon as these words came out, the other three people were stunned. Su Nianliang's expression was as if he had seen a ghost. He walked up to Jiang Xiaobai, snatched the elixir from his hand and looked at it carefully. The elixir is still warm, and observing the aura, it is indeed a freshly refined foundation establishment elixir. Now they were all dumbfounded. Ao Cheng was dumbfounded because Jiang Xiaobai could actually make pills, and the other two alchemists were dumbfounded because they could actually make pills like this. How did you do that? Su Nianliang looked at Jiang Xiaobai in shock, with disbelief written all over his face. Jiang Xiaobai smiled and said nothing. But you clearly haven't even emitted the fragrance of the medicine. How is this possible? Su Nianliang exclaimed. Why is it impossible? Who stipulated that when making elixirs, they must emit medicinal fragrance? Jiang Xiaobai smiled lightly. Besides, the fact that the medicinal fragrance cannot be emitted means that no medicinal power has been wasted. Otherwise, why do you think you can smell the fragrance? It is naturally because the useful ingredients in the elixir have been leaked. Is there such a thing? Su Nianliang's eyes widened. At this time, Kong Yuhui had already stood up and walked up to Jiang Xiaobai with a solemn expression. There is indeed such a saying, and when the master refines the elixir, the medicinal fragrance will not emit. I didn't expect that this Taoist brother's alchemy skills would be so outstanding. After talking about it, Kong Yuhui started to get slightly excited. Chapter 34. The Holy Sun is going to compete with others. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as these words came out, Su Nianliang's eyes almost dropped. His Royal Highness the Holy Sun can actually praise others. Who in the entire Wulian Mountain doesn't know that His Royal Highness the Holy Sun is a dull young man who is addicted to alchemy? He rarely talks or moves on weekdays and only thinks about refining alchemy. At this time, he is actually praising others. Brother Taoist, I still don't know your name. I am Kong Yuhui. Butsai is the holy son of Wulian Mountain. Kong Yuhui said. Jiang Xiaobai, I'm alone. Who said you are alone? Suddenly a shout came from the side, and it was Ao Cheng who stood up. You are my brother-in-law of Ao Cheng, do you know? At this time, Ao Cheng's face was full of laughter. Although he was still cynical, Jiang Xiaobai saw a trace of recognition in the other party's eyes. That's right, it's recognition. Although Jiang Xiaobai helped Ao Cheng several times before, Ao Cheng always called Jiang Xiaobai a mortal and never recognized the identity of Princess Jiang Xiaobai's consort. According to Ao Cheng before, this is what Jiang Xiaobai should do, but things are different now. Jiang Xiaobai can refine elixirs and can easily refine high-grade elixirs, which even made the holy son of Wulian Mountain praise him. The meaning is completely different. Jiang Xiaobai didn't expect there would be any unexpected gains, so he immediately laughed. Brother Jiang, your level of alchemy is very high. Among the many people of the same generation I have met, you are the most powerful one. Kong Yuhuai said, with a flash of fire in his eyes, I wonder if Brother Jiang is interested in a competition between you and me. As soon as these words came out, Nianliang was shocked. He looked at His Royal Highness, the Holy Sun, and then at Jiang Xiaobai, feeling that everything was like a dream. His Royal Highness the Holy Sun actually wants to compete with this strange guy. What if you lose? No, how could His Highness the Holy Sun return the favor? Ao Cheng, who was beside him, was also very excited and shouted directly, of course it's no problem, I agreed for him. Brother Jiang, I just felt itchy after seeing your alchemy skills. I really want to have a discussion with you. It doesn't matter if you don't want to accept it. Although he said this, Kong Yuhuai's eyes looked at Jiang Xiaobai full of expectation. It was a look that looked like a person who simply wanted to compare skills when meeting a strong opponent. It usually appeared on martial arts idiots, so it can be seen that Kong Yuhuai was an alchemy idiot. Of course it's okay. A competition can also let people know their own shortcomings and learn from others' strengths. Jiang Xiaobai nodded with a smile. In his opinion, there is no interest in this competition. It's just that the two bastards are looking at each other. However, others don't think so, at least, Ao Cheng doesn't think so. The moment Jiang Xiaobai agreed, Ao Cheng rushed out of the small courtyard and came to the bustling streets outside. The Holy Son of Wulian Mountain is going to compete with others in public, and the location is at the Wulian Mountain Martial Arts Training Ground. Don't miss it when you're passing by. If you miss this once-in-a-lifetime battle, it will be gone. After shouting several times, the lively streets suddenly became quiet, and everyone stared at Ao Cheng. What are you talking about? Your Highness the Holy Sun is going to compete with others? What kind of guy dares to come and compete with our Holy Sun, His Majesty? There is no need to think that His Highness the Holy Sun will definitely win. Is there any younger generation within hundreds of thousands of miles that is better at alchemy than His Highness the Holy Sun? That everyone started talking, but their steps were surprisingly unified, and they all headed towards the martial arts training ground. After shouting, Ao Cheng showed an excited smile, as if he was just watching the excitement and didn't mind the matter. His voice was quite loud, and several people in the courtyard could naturally hear it, but there was nothing wrong with it. Kong Yuhuai and Jiang Xiaobai simply want to compete. Winning or losing is not important, meeting a close friend is important. Brother Jiang, in that case, how about we move to the martial arts training ground? Of course it's no problem. The two were talking and laughing, walking side by side towards the martial arts training ground. The news that His Highness the Holy Sun was going to compete with others spread quickly from this corner, and the speed was staggering. It didn't take long for more than 90% of the people in Wulian Mountain to know about this incident, and they all put down what they were doing and rushed to the martial arts training ground. After all, the Holy Sun Kong Yuhuai is the face of Wulian Mountain, and he is the most powerful person in alchemy among the younger generation of Wulian Mountain. The only thing that is regrettable is that His Royal Highness the Son of God is a stay-at-home guy who only studies elixirs when he has something to do, and basically can't even speak to anyone, but so what, His Royal Highness the Holy Sun is strong. On a peak of Wulian Mountain, the third elder and Ao Yen took a look at Elder Jiang's alchemy room, and then watched with their own eyes as Elder Jiang refined a marrow-cleansing pill for Xiaolinger, and then began to prepare it for the third elder. Matters of alchemy. At this time, the outside suddenly became lively, and many people were running towards a certain place, with excited expressions on their faces. What happened? Elder Jiang's face was filled with confusion. He walked out of the alchemy room and grabbed a person to ask about the situation. Elder Jiang, our holy son is going to openly compete with others in his alchemy skills. You should hurry up and take a look. Don't be out of position by then. After the man finished speaking, he hurried down the mountain quickly. Even Elder Jiang was a little excited about this situation. Okay, I haven't seen the holy son take action in 3 years. I don't know how far his alchemy skills have grown in the past 3 years. Old Long, your highness princess, why don't we go take a look together? Ao Yen nodded, this is natural. I have never seen the holy son take action. This time I should be able to feast my eyes. I don't know where the talent is that can attract you, the holy son of Wulian Mountain, to treat you like this. On the side, the third elder just started to speak with a smile, but he was suddenly startled. Not only him, but also Ao Yen's step stopped. The two of them looked at each other and had a bad feeling. Could it be that bitch from Ouchin who's causing trouble again? Ao Yen suddenly thought of this possibility, gritted his teeth angrily, and quickened his pace at the same time, especially when she knew that Ao Cheng went out with Jiang Xiaobai. Jiang Xiaobai also happened to be able to make alchemy. It was very likely that the person participating in the public competition this time was Jiang Xiaobai. This is all nonsense. The holy son of Wulian Mountain has been famous for 100 years. How can his understanding of alchemy be comparable to that of Jiang Xiaobai, a mere mortal? Oh no, a guy in the qi refining stage. You can only refine one huaqing pill, right? Ao Yen only felt that something big was going to happen this time, and he hated Jiang Xiaobai and Ao Cheng. Damn it, let me catch you and see if I don't peel off your skin and pull out your dragon tendons to use as a belt. Ao Yen was filled with anger and was already thinking about how to deal with Ao Cheng. Chapter 35. The competition begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, at the Wulian Mountain Martial Arts Training Ground, Ao Cheng, who was staring at the two people on the stage with a red face, suddenly felt a chill in his spine and sneezed loudly at the same time. Ah, sneeze. After sniffing, Ao Cheng raised his eyebrows. Which woman is thinking about me, Xiao Hong, Jin Lian, or Xiao Yener, whom I haven't seen for a long time? Well, I must visit Tianyuan City after I go back this time. I miss you so much after not seeing each other for a few days. Then Ao Cheng shook off the messy thoughts in his mind and looked at the two people on the stage excitedly. At this time, both of them had their own alchemy furnaces placed in front of them. They were all divine alchemy furnaces provided by Kong Yuhui using his identity as the Holy Sun. The effect was quite good. At the same time, there are people around who are always ready to provide them with the elixir they need. Unlike the two people on the stage who were relatively harmonious and angry, the thousands of people in the audience were in chaos. Not only that, all kinds of sarcastic and insulting voices continued to come from below. That boy on the stage, what qualifications do you have to challenge our holy son? Get out of here now. You are the only one who can make elixirs in your qi refining period. It's a big joke. If you can defeat our holy son today, I will kneel down and call you daddy. I not only call you daddy, I also eat shit. Trash, trash, get out of here. You are not worthy of being our Royal Highness the Sun's opponent. Regarding such a scene, Jiang Xiaobai expressed that he had no fluctuations in his heart and even wanted to continue listening for a while. Just kidding, can this small scene be compared with the wedding in Long Valley that day? It was nothing, so Jiang Xiaobai ignored it at all. Brother Jiang, I wonder how you want to test your elixir strength? Kong Yuhui said casually on the stage. Jiang Xiaobai raised his eyebrows. Do you have any good suggestions? That I saw Kong Yuhui frowning and thinking for a while, and then slowly said, I can feel that Brother Jiang's alchemy skills are at least at the level of a top-grade alchemist. At this point, he can basically refine some pills. Why don't we compare the potency of the elixir? I'll let the elders of Wulian Mountain help us judge. Brother Jiang, what do you think? Kong Yuhuai's suggestion is quite good. The degree of medicinal power is a comprehensive method to judge whether an alchemist is strong. This includes not only the control of medicinal power during alchemy, but also the understanding of the path of alchemy, including many things. They are the most basic skills required by an alchemist. Of course, refining speed also plays a big part in victory. After all, it takes you 10 minutes to refine the same elixir, but it only takes me 5 minutes, which is enough to prove that my understanding of elixir refining is better than yours. This is something that cannot be improved by practice. Can. Seeing Jiang Xiaobai agree, Kong Yuhuai also nodded. Then how about winning 2 out of 3 games and refining the foundation building pill, Yuan Chui Dan, and bone tempering pill respectively? That the 3 types of elixirs are all relatively basic elixirs in the monk world and are in huge demand. This is no problem. Jiang Xiaobai had no objection to this. At that moment, Kong Yuhuai said something to the people beside him, and immediately someone started to prepare the corresponding elixir, and called for the elder of Wulian Mountain to be the referee. While waiting, there were constant sarcasm from below, and no one thought highly of Jiang Xiaobai. Ao Cheng, your friend really has a brain problem. So what if he is a top-grade alchemist? Can he be more powerful than our holy son? Su Nianliang sneered sarcastically. You dare to compete openly in such a public place. Isn't this humiliating yourself? You know, a hammer, my friend, is quite powerful, definitely better than your holy son. Ao Cheng snorted coldly. Humph, do you dare to look down on our holy son? You just look down on it, right? How about we make a bet? If your friend can beat our holy son, how about I refine any elixir that I can refine for you for free in the future? Su Nianliang's face was full of confidence. Smile, obviously full of confidence in their holy son, and Ao Cheng also snorted. What if we lose? I'm not a big talker. Since you said you wanted to invest in me before, how about giving me an extra 100 high-grade spiritual stones every month? For Ao Cheng, this transaction is not a loss at all, and he only needs to pay 100 high-grade spiritual stones every month. This money is not enough for him to go to the flower house to spend time. Then it's settled. After saying that, Ao Cheng looked towards the high platform and shouted directly, Jiang Xiaobai, come on, fuck that pretty boy hard, you will definitely win. If you win, I will give you a lot of benefits if you go back. This guy's voice was quite loud. One person's voice almost covered the voices of hundreds of people around him. Naturally, many people heard the word boy. Damn it, why are you calling our holy son a pretty boy? Brothers, what should I do if someone insults His Royal Highness the Holy Son? I won't let you get used to it. Of course I'll beat you to death. The scene suddenly became chaotic, and everyone around wanted to pounce on Ao Cheng and give Ao Cheng a beating. Seeing this, Ao Cheng raised the corner of his mouth and directly exploded his late nascent soul aura. As alchemists, those who can take root in Wulian Mountain are those who are obsessed with alchemy. Almost all their energy is put into studying alchemy, and there is no spare time for practice. As a result, their strength is generally not high, and the late nascent soul is enough to beat their human heads into dog heads. Humph, all of you have thin arms and legs. If you don't say anything else, I will beat you as many times as you want. Ao Cheng said with a stern look on his face. Yeah. From behind, a calm voice came. Ao Cheng subconsciously shouted, of course, I can crush 2 of these guys to death with one hand. Before he could finish the last words, Ao Cheng's body suddenly froze in place. Tell me, why don't you continue? Ao Yen said coldly, weren't you very capable just now? Why are you silent now? Ao Cheng swallowed a sip of saliva and turned his head with a smile. Before he could speak, Ao Yen grabbed his hair and pulled his ears. Oh, it hurts, sister, let go, and so many people are watching. Ao Cheng yelled. You also know that there are so many people here, and you also know that this is Wulian Mountain. Do you really think this is Dragon Valley? Ao Yen angrily scolded, you actually dare to cause trouble in Wulian Mountain. If you really want to cause trouble, even your grandfather and grandpa will not be able to save you. At this time, Ouchen was no longer as arrogant and domineering as before. He was just a well-behaved little rabbit, not even daring to breathe. What everyone on the side saw was a relief. After teaching Ouchen a lesson, Yan looked towards the high platform and saw Jiang Xiaobai smiling and talking to Kong Yuhuai. The two of them looked like old friends who had known each other for many years. At this time, the required elixir was ready and delivered to the two of them, and the referee elders were also in place. The competition begins. Chapter 36 Merit. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Originally, Yan wanted to go up and get Jiang Xiaobai down, but after seeing this scene, he took a deep breath and finally decided to let it go. In any case, the competition has already begun, so it cannot be interrupted, otherwise it will really not give Wulian face. Even a being like Long Gu didn't want to be at odds with Wulian Mountain, so Yan could only look at Jiang Xiaobai with resentment, and then vented all his anger on Cheng. Cheng screamed repeatedly, causing the people around him to stay away from him. The third elder stood on the side and narrowed his eyes, looking at Jiang Xiaobai with a complicated expression. Just before half a month, this guy was just a mortal who was nothing. On the high platform, the materials were ready, and just when it was about to begin, the voice of the system suddenly came from Jiang Xiaobai's mind. Congratulations to the host for trigger selection. Choice 1, win the competition and be rewarded with a ray of merit. Option 2, lose the game and be rewarded with a piece of innate spiritual treasure. These two rewards are also quite attractive. Needless to say, merit can condense the holy body of merit. Even saints want this thing, and innate spiritual treasures are also rare and good things. After much hesitation, Jiang Xiaobai finally chose the first one. This time he is not here to set off Kong Yuhuai, but to use this guy to show off for the first time. The alchemy competition begins now. As Elder Zhang's voice sounded, the competition officially began. At that moment, both of them started to make elixirs. Kong Yuhuai burned a light blue flame. The quality of the flame was not low at first glance. This thing was also of great help in refining alchemy. On the other hand, Jiang Xiaobai's side is basically the most common fire control technique. When the white flames rose, the martial arts training ground erupted into loud laughter. Aha! Does he have the guts to challenge our holy son? It's the lowest level of fire control. When it comes to refining elixirs, I'm afraid the elixir furnace hasn't even heated up yet. His Royal Highness the Holy Sun has already successfully refined it. It's simply embarrassing. I really don't know what was going on in that guy's mind. Such sarcasm continued. After all, the pale flames were really surprising. Yan's face turned red when she was among the crowd, and she also felt embarrassed. There is no comparison between the two on stage. Stupid thing, don't you have any brains? Are you worthy of competing with the holy son of Wulian Mountain in alchemy? Yan snorted in his heart, and the little good opinion he had about Jiang Xiaobai disappeared. If she misunderstood Jiang Xiaobai with Tianheng before, then this time, there was no misunderstanding at all. She was simply crushed. Okay. This time Jiang Xiaobai could be regarded as humiliating Long Gu's face outside. Humph, it's all your fault. Yan was furious and slapped Ching on the back of the head. Ching held his head with his face full of grievance and did not dare to say a word, but his eyes were still excited when he looked at Jiang Xiaobai. He always felt that even if Jiang Xiaobai couldn't win, he wouldn't be any worse. This feeling was very strange, and he couldn't explain it. At this time, the preparations on the stage have been completed, and Kong Yuhuai has begun to throw the elixir into the alchemy furnace. According to the steps, with a very steady speed and technique, all the people in Wulian Mountain in the audience were staring at his movements, trying to learn something from them. The elders of Wulian Mountain who were the referees kept nodding their heads and praised Kong Yuhuai's alchemy skills. In comparison, Jiang Xiaobai seemed extremely simple. As soon as he started, he threw all the elixirs into the alchemy furnace with a very calm expression on his face, not feeling anything wrong with this action at all. Is this guy really an alchemist? Is there such a way to make elixirs? Throw all the elixirs in. It's impossible to refine them. Hey, you are a brainless thing. There is no suspense in this competition. His Highness the Holy Sun will definitely win. Everyone in the audience was ridiculing Jiang Xiaobai. After just one glance, they didn't want to continue watching. This was unnecessary. If you have that spare time, you might as well watch His Highness the Holy Sun making elixirs. Time passed by, and the atmosphere in the audience was quite relaxed. Everyone believed that Kong Yuhui would win this round. 10 minutes passed, and the two people on the stage opened the alchemy furnace almost at the same time. Only at this time did a strong medicinal fragrance come out. The elixir has been completed. Please ask the elders to verify it, that there were also specialized personnel taking out the elixirs from the alchemy furnace. The disciple who was responsible for taking out the elixirs from Jiang Xiaobai had a look of disgust on his face. Before he even approached the alchemy furnace, he seemed to have already seen that the elixir furnace was full of pills. The drug residue seen, however, what surprised him was that Jiang Xiaobai actually made the elixir. You. The man was surprised for a while, and then he took out the elixir in a daze. Seeing this scene, everyone in the audience was also stunned. Can this be made into a pill? The two people on the stage had a very tacit understanding and ignored the voices of outsiders. Instead, they stood calmly waiting for the outcome of the first game. What they refined in the first round was the foundation establishment pill. The first thing to verify was the elixir refined by Jiang Xiaobai. Okay, the elixir is full and the potency is pure. It retains almost 90% of the potency. But unfortunately, it's still a little short of some minor flaws. And the refining speed is pretty good and fast. The refining technique is also quite creative. You should have researched it yourself, right? After Elder Jiang saw Jiang Xiaobai's foundation establishment pill, he was also amazed. Such a level of pure medicinal power could not be achieved by an alchemist who had not been immersed in the path of pills for hundreds of years. Hearing such comments, everyone in the audience was dumbfounded. Are you mistaken? His technique is so crude that it explodes. Can it also become a pill? Even if it's a complete elixir, it still has nearly 90% of its potency. Many people had doubts on their faces and did not believe it at all. Moreover, such elixirs were of an almost very high standard. They were all a little worried about His Royal Highness the Holy Sun. Then Elder Jiang took Kong Yuhuai's foundation establishment pill, and a smile suddenly appeared on his face. The Holy Sun's alchemy skills have improved a lot. The potency of the medicine is about 95%, which is already the demeanor of the sect master. The future achievements are immeasurable. Elder Jiang said from the bottom of his heart. After hearing this, Kong Yuhui smiled elegantly and said, I'm sorry, Brother Jiang, I'm slightly better. It doesn't matter, just don't give me any trouble next time. Jiang Xiaobai chuckled, not caring at all that he lost a round. At this time, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Soon Nianliang calmed down his mood, and then looked at Ao Qing proudly. What do you think? His Highness the Holy Sun will definitely win. TCH, it's only the first game. Ao Qing snorted, but his eyes were fixed on the stage. Okay, let's start the second round of competition. Peiyuan Dan, that the winner of the first round had been decided. At this time, Elder Jiang did not pause and directly announced the start of the next round. Chapter 37 1 Win and 1 Loss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the words fell, the two people on the stage continued to make alchemy, still following the previous steps. Jiang Xiaobai threw all the elixirs into the elixir furnace at once. This time, everyone did not continue to ridicule. Instead, many people felt a burning pain on their faces. In the past, they all ridiculed Jiang Xiaobai's alchemy techniques, but it turned out that it was not impossible to make elixirs. At least it hurt their faces. At the same time, compared to the foundation establishment pill, the refining requirements of the Peiyuan pill are lower. The main function of this pill is to restore spiritual power to monks in a short period of time. Most of them are used to deal with insufficient spiritual energy, so refining is not difficult, but the more simple the effect is, the more it tests an alchemist's alchemy level if he wants to achieve a higher level. Based on Kong Yuhuai's victory in the first game, everyone in Wulian Mountain still looked relaxed at this time, thinking that after this game was over, Jiang Xiaobai would definitely lose. In the audience, Ao Cheng, Ao Yen and the third elder stared closely at Jiang Xiaobai, wanting to see if there was any hope for him. Ao Cheng, please stop looking helplessly. Jiang Xiaobai is destined to lose. Our holy son's alchemy skills are beyond his comparison. Nianliang said scornfully. Shut your mouth. Even if Jiang Xiaobai loses, his alchemy strength is still better than yours. Look at you, how many spiritual stones I waste every day, but I haven't seen you improve much. Ao Qing very disgusted. After saying this, Nianliang was speechless, and then he snorted coldly, looked at Jiang Xiaobai unkindly, and muttered at the same time. No matter what, you will definitely lose. Time passed quickly, and 7 or 8 minutes passed quietly in a relaxed atmosphere. This time Jiang Xiaobai took the lead in opening the alchemy furnace, and then within half a minute, Xuanhuan also opened the alchemy furnace, the pill was completed, and then 2 Peiyuan pills of good quality were presented in front of several elders. The residual potency of this medicine has actually reached 97%, an elder looked at Jiang Xiaobai's Peiyuan pill in disbelief. Good guy, I'm afraid even the sect leader can't achieve such perfection, right? What, 97%, let me see. Several elders began to observe Jiang Xiaobai's elixir. After confirming that it contained so much medicinal power, they all looked at Jiang Xiaobai in astonishment. Xuanhuan sighed and shook his head. It seems that I lost this round. Brother Jiang's alchemy is really powerful. It has 97% potency and is faster than me. It's really unbelievable. That's ridiculous, it just happened to be lucky. Jiang Xiaobai said modestly. This kind of behavior gave Xuanhuan a lot of points, and he recognized Jiang Xiaobai even more. He nodded solemnly. In the last game, I will try my best, and Brother Jiang will also do his best. It's natural. I'm waiting to get the benefits from my brother-in-law. The two looked at each other and smiled, then stopped talking. In the end, after repeated judgments by several elders, Jiang Xiaobai won this round. Xuanhuan's Peiyuan pill only had 94% potency. It can be said that this level is almost the limit of a pill. No elixir can be perfect. Can you guarantee that there will be no loss of potency under the flames? At this time, everyone in the audience was already confused. Nianliang was even more stunned. He swallowed dryly and muttered, it's just good luck. There is still one round left. His Royal Highness the Holy Sun will definitely win. This time, Ao Qing rarely spoke up. He was already shocked by Jiang Xiaobai's actions, not only Ao Qing, but also the third elder and Ao Yen. They only knew that Jiang Xiaobai could refine Huaqin pills, but they didn't know what his real alchemy skills were. But at this moment, it seemed that he was on par with the Holy Son of Wulian Mountain. This immediately made Ao Yen very excited. Her mind was now full of looking forward to the result of the last game. Almost everyone is looking forward to this. The relaxed atmosphere had quietly turned tense at this time. The joking in the audience had ended, and the venue was very quiet. The gentle breeze blew the hair of the two people on the stage. The third round has been announced, but neither of them made any moves, obviously preparing for it. Brother Jiang, let's start. Taking a deep breath, Xuanhuan said. Jiang Xiaobai nodded and without saying a word, he lit the flame and threw all the elixirs into the alchemy furnace. It seemed that he was very nervous. In fact, this guy is quite relaxed at heart. With Lao Juan's alchemy skills, it is extremely easy for him to win over Xuanhuan. Although it is not possible for Lao Juan to refine all the alchemy skills, it is possible to break through some alchemy limits. He can even refine elixirs with elixir patterns now. He estimated that Xuanhuan had at most 95% of the potency of the medicine. After all, the difficulty of the following bone-tempering pill was not inferior to that of the Foundation Establishment pill. But when it came to physical and spiritual energy cultivation, the difficulty of the pill would soar a lot. This test is the combination of different types of elixirs. When he started refining the alchemy, Jiang Xiaobai had already thought of a countermeasure. As the two of them focused on refining the elixir, time passed by, and everyone in the audience became more and more nervous. They didn't even dare to take a breath, for fear of having any impact on the two people on the stage. At this moment, the people in Wulian Mountain no longer thought that Jiang Xiaobai was joking. but regarded him as a person with the same strength as Kong Yuhui. Ao Yen stared at Jiang Xiaobai's face, her brows furrowed, her breathing a little rapid, and she unknowingly held her little hands tightly. She didn't even notice the beads of sweat forming in her palms. It can be said that Jiang Xiaobai has given her too many surprises now. This time, she sincerely wants Jiang Xiaobai to win. She can't find a reason why this is the case. Anyway, she is expecting it. We have to win. Ao Cheng growled through gritted teeth. Everyone's eyes were focused on the two of them. I don't know how long it took, but Jiang Xiaobai, who looked solemn, suddenly reached out and opened the lid of the alchemy furnace. The moment he opened it, Kong Yuhui on the other side also opened the alchemy furnace, but in the end it was a little slower. Okay, even being one step faster is an advantage. Ao Yen couldn't help but say to himself. Kong Yuhui frowned, clenched his fists hard, and took a deep breath, seemingly unwilling to be a step slower than Jiang Xiaobai. Jiang Xiaobai also breathed a long sigh of relief and looked at Kong Yuhui. Holy Son, shall we start the examination? Brother Jiang, you don't have to call me that, just call me by my first name. Okay, Brother Kong, this is the last game. How sure are you? I have tried my best and I have no regrets. Kong Yuhui smiled elegantly and gracefully, while Jiang Xiaobai also smiled and nodded. Then the people who had been waiting for a long time came forward and took out the two people's elixirs and sent them to the elders. At this moment, everyone's hearts were in their throats. At this time, they had already forgotten the initial sarcasm and their desire to learn. At this time, their eyes were all focused on the two pills on the table. What will be the result? Chapter 38 Winning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not only the audience, but also the many elders who were the referees felt a little nervous, as if they were the ones actually competing in the alchemy skills. This competition can be described as very exciting. As the holy son of Wulian Mountain, it goes without saying that Kong Yuhui was top-notch in terms of alchemy techniques and strength, and the unknown Jiang Xiaobai actually gives people an amazing feeling. After seeing Jiang Xiaobai refining elixirs, they realized that elixirs could be refined in this way, and that some techniques could be used in this way. The two of them can almost be called the top alchemy geniuses among the younger generation. Looking at the elixir in front of them, the elders took a deep breath and began to make a fair judgment. Everyone held their breath at this moment, waiting for the final result to be announced. After careful inspection for a long time, happy smiles suddenly appeared on the faces of several elders. Wonderful, wonderful. Elder Jiang couldn't help but praise him. The people around were immediately confused. As for the result, you should announce the result. Elder Jiang was seen shaking his head constantly with a smile on his face. Everyone, we use the most impartial attitude to make judgments and will not favor anyone. Elder Jiang spoke slowly. At that moment, everyone was staring at his mouth, waiting for the result in the next second. This time, the potency of both of them is 95%. As soon as this statement came out, the whole audience was in an uproar. What does it mean that the two have equal potency? This is not a tie. You must know that Jiang Xiaobai finished it one step ahead of Kong Yuhui. During the competition, even just a moment is enough to overturn the result. The final winner is Jiang Xiaobai. Okay. Ao Cheng was the first to shout, and he laughed wildly. Ahaha, what did you say just now? You dared to say that Jiang Xiaobai can't win? Isn't this a victory? The one who just said he was going to kneel down and call me daddy, and the one who said he was going to eat shit, please don't leave. Please stop here. Suddenly the faces of everyone in Wulian Mountain turned red, and the atmosphere was extremely awkward. Many people did not dare to look at Jiang Xiaobai on the stage. After the results were announced, Kong Yuhui breathed a sigh of relief. Although he lost, he did not show any expression of displeasure. On the contrary, he felt very excited. How long has it been? He doesn't know how long it has been since he has been able to compete with others so heartily. Among the younger generation of alchemists in Wulian Mountain, he is the strongest. If he goes further up, he will be the older generation of alchemists. There is no comparability. It can be said that even if he loses today, he will still be happy. Brother Jiang, congratulations. Kong Yuhui cupped his hands. Jiang Xiaobai smiled and waved his hand. No, no, I really got lucky this time. I was one step ahead of you. Otherwise, we would be tied at most. If you lose, you lose. Even if Brother Jiang loses his luck, it doesn't matter. After all, luck is also a part of strength. Kong Yuhui looked excited. It really makes me happy to be able to compete with Brother Jiang. Why don't you and I have a good drink at night, and we won't come home until we're drunk? Of course, I think you're a good match. Ha ha ha. Even though he was very happy at this time, Kong Yuhui was as elegant as a scholar. Such a smile made many women in Wulian Mountain dream about him. Several Wulian Mountain elders in the audience also kept nodding. Two people with top talents in alchemy have become friends instead of enemies. This is a gratifying thing. More than anything, they were relieved. Because Nianliang's holy son finally has a friend. God knows what this family has been doing since they became famous for hundreds of years. Apart from studying elixirs and refining elixirs, they never go out and don't even have basic communication. They are all anxious. You can't watch His Highness the Son of God being so lonely all your life. Although you are in a high position, there are many outstanding people in other fields. Why don't you, Holy Son, know how to make friends? For such a competition, although everyone was ridiculing Jiang Xiaobai before, but where is Wulian Mountain? That is the holy land for alchemists. Alchemists from hundreds of thousands of miles around gather here, and they come here just to take their alchemy skills to a higher level. They will not be unable to play, on the contrary, because this time, they will respect Jiang Xiaobai very much. This is respect for the strong, and it has nothing to do with character, appearance, etc. Ao Yan was excited and stunned for a moment. She was excited because Jiang Xiaobai won, but she was stunned because she didn't know why she was excited. Ao Yan's face turned red when he thought of this. On the other hand, Ao Qing laughed wildly at first, then grabbed Su Nianliang's collar and shook him to and fro. Did you see, Jiang Xiaobai won? What should I say? Don't forget the bet we made before. After shouting, Ao Qing began to let himself go again, leaving Su Nianliang alone, sniffing and standing there in despair. His Royal Highness the Holy Son actually lost. Thinking of this, Su Nianliang is really heart-wrenching. The idol he has pursued all his life has lost, and he naturally feels uncomfortable, but seeing that Kong Yuhui was very happy even after losing, Su Nianliang found a reason to take it easy. His Royal Highness the Holy Son's happiness is my greatest luxury. That the crowd was filled with mixed emotions for a moment, and Ao Cheng was looking around for the guys who had threatened to call them daddies and eat shit, but surprisingly, he found them. With the bad nature of this second-generation ancestor, it is natural to make these guys fulfill their promise. You want to default on your debt, right? Okay, you're welcome, then. Fortunately, with Ao Yan in charge, this guy didn't do anything embarrassing, otherwise Wulian Mountain would really have no way to explain. After the competition ended, Wulian Mountain was bustling with excitement. Everyone was discussing the matter and looking at Jiang Xiaobai with complicated expressions. Jiang Xiaobai ignored this at all and instead walked side by side in Wulian Mountain with His Highness the Holy Son. The other party insisted on pulling Jiang Xiaobai to experience the scenery of Wulian Mountain. In the evening, in a large courtyard on the mountainside, a table of delicious food and several jugs of fine wine were set up. The fine wine was kindly provided by Ao Cheng. If he was not too happy today, he would not be willing to share it with others. At the dinner table, Jiang Xiaobai, Kong Yuhui, Ao Yan and Su Nianliang sat in a circle, talking and eating while laughing. Although Ao Yan still looked cold, he still gave enough respect to the Holy Son of Wulian Mountain, and it was rare for him to have a few words with him, but it was limited to a few words. I ate something and left directly. Only Jiang Xiaobai, Ao Cheng and Kong Yuhui were left drinking and bragging. On the side, Su Nianliang felt a little lonely and pitiful. Before today, he was the only one in Wulian Mountain who could get closest to His Highness the Holy Son. However, after Jiang Xiaobai shot out of the sky, everything changed. His Royal Highness was kidnapped. Chapter 39 Drinking and Worshipping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nianliang's heart throbbed when he thought of this, and his breathing was a little unsmooth. Feeling uncomfortable in his heart, he picked up the wine glass and wanted to drink a drunk Qian Chou Xiao. However, less than 5 minutes after drinking a glass of wine, he heard a clang and the product fell directly to the ground. There was drool at the corner of his mouth and tears of grievance at the corner of his eyes, like a dead pig sleeping. No one paid any attention to this. If Nianliang knew this, he would probably be completely heartbroken. After 3 rounds of drinking, the 3 of them were already full of alcohol. The wine Ao Cheng brought out was quite high. Even if they used their spiritual power, it would be useless. At this time, they were just trying to drink. The 3 of them drank a pot of wine each. Jiang Xiaobai and Ao Cheng were doing better, but the bookish Kong Yuhui was a little over the top. Brother Jiang, hiccup, to tell you the truth, you are my only friend besides little Liangzi. Kong Yuhui blushed, squinted his eyes slightly, and said with a big tongue, I'm lonely. Don't be afraid, I will be your brother from now on, you won't be alone. Jiang Xiaobai was also a little dizzy. At this time, Ao Cheng waved his hand, took a sip of wine and said, and me. You look like a pretty boy, but your character is not bad. I, Ao Cheng, will make you my friend. You, who do you think you are? Brother Jiang is as good at alchemy as I am, so why should I be friends with you? Is there anything special about you? Kong Yuhui yelled. Sure enough, this guy actually spoke the truth when he was drunk. As soon as he said this, the second-generation ancestor of Ao Cheng lost his temper. His father's son, I am young Master Long Gu, and the princess in Long Gu, that hot-tempered and powerful princess is my biological sister. Ao Cheng stood up suddenly and staggered. Do you think I am qualified to be your brother? Hiss. So you are that Ao Cheng, why do you sound familiar to me? Kong Yuhui blushed and narrowed his eyes. That's enough, you are qualified, I am willing. In that case, why don't the 3 of us join hands and become sworn brothers? Ah. Jiang Xiaobai felt that his head suddenly became clearer, and he looked at Ao Cheng with a confused face. This guy had a brain convulsion. However, what he didn't expect was that Kong Yuhui suddenly stood up, walked to Ao Cheng with floating steps, and imitated Ao Cheng's careless manner and hooked his shoulder. Okay, then I'll find a chicken and kill it to sacrifice to heaven. The 3 of us will be brothers from today on. I'll be the big brother. Ao Cheng shouted. Bah, why are you the eldest brother? Jiang Xiaobai said scornfully. That's right, I'm older than you. No, I want to be the big brother. I have never been in the habit of being the little brother. I'm still the holy son of Wulian Mountain. If you really want to talk about it, I'm better than you. That's bullshit. I can easily strangle 3 of you to death if you look like this. Kong Yuhui suddenly fell silent because he knew what Ao Cheng said was true. Why are you talking so much? Drink, come on, keep drinking. Jiang Xiaobai picked up the wine glass and wanted to change the topic. At that moment, the 3 of them continued to drink as if drinking boiled water. What's interesting is that Ao Cheng seems to be at odds with Jie Jinlan, and wants the 3 of them to take over. Then the 3 of them drank so much that they started arguing over who was the eldest brother, and eventually they started competing over their drinking capacity. Whoever can drink will be the big brother. In the end, Jiang Xiaobai defeated the 2 tough guys opposite him with his excellent results. How, are you admitting that you are cowardly? Am I the eldest brother? Jiang Xiaobai felt that he couldn't control his tongue. He lay on the ground and grabbed someone's clothes and shouted, Speak, why don't you say anything? Drink, keep drinking. Later, the sound became softer and turned into snoring, and all the guys fell asleep. The yard was in a mess, with several people lying staggering on the ground. The scene was quite eye-catching. If the people of Wulian Mountain knew that their holy son had been drinking and was in such a state, their jaws would probably drop. Outside the yard, a group of old guys had expressions on their faces that I didn't know how to describe. It's a good thing that the holy son has made friends, but no matter how I look at it, I feel that this friend is not a good friend. That is to say, will these 2 guys lead the holy son astray? It's possible, especially in Ao Cheng. The holy son must not be allowed to learn his arrogant and domineering behavior. What if this makes me want to become a dandy? Though it can be said that several elders watched them drinking and spanking the whole time, taking in all the ugly things, and for a while they were a little worried about the future of their holy son. At this time, Elder Jiang sighed. No matter what, it is very good that the holy son can learn to make friends. As for whether they will be led astray, I feel that it should be no problem if they are not allowed to drink. It seems to make sense. I think it will work. That's it, forget it, let's see if they look embarrassed tomorrow. The elders felt that their burdens were finally lightened and headed back home. What does it feel like when the morning sun shines on your face? Jiang Xiaobai knew very well that it was as comfortable as a warm quilt, which made people enjoy it endlessly and not want to leave. Snapped. Who hit me? Ao Ching covered his face and bounced up from the ground like a spring. Then he saw Ao Yen with a ferocious sneer on his face. Sister. Can you let me sleep a little longer this morning? Ao Ching muttered when he saw it was Ao Yen. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Did I tell you not to drink too much before leaving yesterday? Look at the result, the holy son of Wulian Mountain let you be your pillow all night. Ao Yen gritted his teeth and said, raising his hand. Hit Ao Ching on the head. Only then did Ao Ching remember that he seemed to have done so. Looking down, he saw Kong Yuhui frowning, sleeping soundly while covering his chest. The place on his chest was where Ao Ching used to be his pillow. Wake up, Jiang Xiaobai, get up. Ao Ching looked at Jiang Xiaobai again. His sleeping posture was relatively normal. After being pushed a few times, the two woke up leisurely, sat on the ground and yawned. Hey, it's weird. Why did I always feel out of breath when I went to bed yesterday? Why is my chest still hurting? Kong Yuhui rubbed his chest in confusion. Ao Ching Yang Tian whistled. Naturally it was impossible for him to tell this matter, seeing that several people had woken up. Ao Yen didn't stay long. After giving Ao Ching a fierce look, he left and went to Elder Zhang's alchemy room. Then the three of them went into daze mode, sitting on the ground to wake up and recall what happened last night. Then, the expressions on their faces were quite wonderful, especially Kong Yuhui. He was shocked at first, and then his face turned red. He, who has always been a scholar, actually did such a rude thing yesterday. The atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. Thinking of the scene last night when several people were vying to be the eldest brother, they felt ashamed. Hey, where is Xiaoyangzi? Suddenly, Kong Yuhui exclaimed. Chapter 40 Something is wrong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Only then did the three of them remember that they had actually ignored Su Nianliang, and now they were looking around in the yard. It didn't take long to find Su Nianliang beside a big stone in the backyard. The guy was happily hugging the big stone like an octopus, enjoying himself very much. Seeing this, Ao Ching raised his hand and slapped the opponent on the face without thinking, and a bright red slap mark suddenly appeared. Don't make trouble, let me sleep for a while. Su Nianliang waved his hands, a slightly lewd smile appeared on his face. This made a few people very curious. What did this guy dream about in his dream that could make him so wretched? Ao Ching rolled up his sleeves, with a sneer on his face, and rounded his arms as if to slap him, but was stopped by Kong Yuhui. Isn't this bad? What's wrong? A drunk person has to scream like this to wake up. Ao Ching said, and slapped Xiaobai. Ouch! The screams rang out, and Su Nianliang was kicked out and rolled out. Then he covered his face with an angry look on his face and wanted to curse. He saw 3 pairs of eyes staring at him. Suddenly Su Nianliang trembled. Your Majesty the Holy Sun, I'm sorry, I drank too much and overslept. Jiang Xiaobai sighed and shook his head. The poor child was a bit miserable. After tidying up the yard, a few people sat down to drink tea to sober up and chat a few words. It was noon. After lunch, Ao Yen came over and said that all the business here was done and it was time to go back. Originally, the third elder wanted Jiang Xiaobai to wash his marrow and cut his bones this time so that he could practice faster. Although they knew that he was an alchemist before, the third elder did not expect that Jiang Xiaobai's alchemy ability was so powerful. It was a bit unnecessary to come here, so he didn't care. Before leaving, Kong Yuhui still looked reluctant to leave. He was quite satisfied with this new friend. then he said that he would come to Longgu if he had the opportunity in the future, and asked Jiang Xiaobai to come to Wulian Mountain to sit more often when he was free, so that the two of them could exchange experiences on alchemy. Jiang Xiaobai readily agreed. It came suddenly and left in a hurry. The group of people hit the road and rushed back to Dragon Valley. After coming back, Ao Cheng wandered off somewhere, while Ao Yen was racing against time to practice. Jiang Xiaobai was the only one sitting in the yard drinking tea with nothing to do. This trip was very rewarding for him. I have gained a friend of the Holy Sun who has alchemy power. As long as the relationship is good in the future, it will be a powerful help in times of crisis. Moreover, the relationship with Ao Cheng has also improved a lot. Thinking of these, Jiang Xiaobai felt that his efforts during this period were not in vain, and then he began to check the recent system rewards. He vaguely remembered that when he was drinking last night, the choice seemed to be triggered. After looking at the system records, he discovered the choice he made yesterday when he was drinking. Among the three options, he chose to drink down his opponent and got 100,000 high-grade spiritual stones. Then Jiang Xiaobai sorted out his rewards, 1/10 of Lao Juan's alchemy skills. Now he has a total of 20% of Lao Juan's alchemy skills, and he also got a copy of the record of Earth Meridians Li Jing and Kunpeng Sky Swallowing Technique. Then he encountered the ancient tribe who were chasing him outside and obtained the escape method. The system's attacks were quite powerful. Jiang Xiaobai's use of the escape method could be said to have improved his life-saving means a lot. It is worth mentioning that when he was out, he adopted Hu Sheng. If he cultivated it to the foundation building stage within 10 years, he would have another 1/10 of Lao Juan's alchemy skills. Calculating this, Jiang Xiaobai found that he was one step closer to obtaining the complete form of Lao Juan's alchemy. I can't help but look forward to it. If he fully obtains Lao Juan's alchemy skills, wouldn't he just take off from where he is? If you take out the 9-turn golden pill at will, you can get helpers who don't know how powerful they are. However, Jiang Xiaobai just thought about it in his mind. According to the nature of the system, he wanted to gather Lao Juan's alchemy skills, but he didn't know that it would take until the year of the monkey and the horse. This can only be considered a dream for now. Then, when he randomly selected acquired spiritual treasures, he got the divine sword Xuanhuan, which also improved his combat effectiveness by a large level. The Ho Tian Lingbao completely crushes the divine magic weapon. It can be said to be like cutting iron like clay with one strike. With one strike of the sword, other magic weapons are cut into pieces. How can the opponent fight? And the 72 transformations of Earth Fiend are also good things. Then she went to Wulian Mountain and asked her to get a ray of merit. Although it was just a ray, it was still an extremely precious treasure. After all, it is very difficult to obtain merit. To sum up, currently there are 2 out of 10 Lao Juan's alchemy technique, Earth Meridian Li Jinglu, Kunpeng Sky Swallowing Technique, Divine Escape Technique, 72 transformations of earthly evil, acquired spiritual treasure Divine Sword Xuanhuan, and a wisp of merit. And another 1/10 of Lao Juan's alchemy skills that would take 10 years to obtain. That's generally true. The harvest is not small, especially that ray of merit. After thinking about it carefully, Jiang Xiaobai felt that he almost had some trump cards now. This way, his sense of security doubled. Then he took out the Earth Meridian Li Jing Lu and Kunpeng Heaven Swallowing Technique from the storage space and looked through them. Only then did he realize that these two things were a perfect match. Li Jinglu is a sacred book about earthly veins, and it is also an acquired spiritual treasure. As long as this thing is used, it can find earth veins, regardless of size and level of mastery. What are ley lines? It was a rich and sufficient spiritual energy, and it was something that could generate spiritual stone veins around it. He knew that there was a top-grade earth vein below the Dragon Valley, otherwise the spiritual energy in the Dragon Valley would not be so abundant. Thinking about it carefully, a smile appeared on Jiang Xiaobai's face. If he could find a spirit stone vein or even an earth vein through Li Jinglu, he would make a lot of money. Although he can make money by selling elixirs, it is definitely not as profitable as making money from earth veins. If he finds a mine, whether he develops it himself or uses it as a trump card or asset, even if he turns it over to Longgu, it will be a pretty good profit. Thinking of these, Jiang Xiaobai couldn't help but feel excited. He found a way to make money. Sometimes money may not be able to impress the strong, but you can certainly do it if you have enough money, although it is said that ordinary people are not guilty of carrying a jade, and a strong man will give you money, but if you have Dragon Valley as your backer, will this situation still happen? Jiang Xiaobai's breathing was rapid for a moment, and he felt that he had found a treasure. The seemingly inconspicuous Dianli Jinglu is actually the most useful thing at this stage. He has obtained Ao Yan's token and can enter and exit Dragon Valley at will. Moreover, if one's own cultivation reaches a certain level, it will inevitably break through to the late nascent soul stage. In fact, the current cultivation level is almost enough. As long as you are careful, don't cause trouble, and keep a low profile, you can probably succeed. The more he thought about it, the more Jiang Xiaobai felt that something was going on. And Kunpeng's sky-swallowing technique is even more amazing. This thing is a practice book. Jiang Xiaobai looked it up and understood that through this practice, he can swallow all things, and all spiritual things can be used to absorb and practice. Moreover, in this way, the speed of cultivation can be much faster, which is much faster than sitting on the ground and meditating by himself, coupled with the Dianli Jinglu to search for the spiritual veins of heaven and earth. My dear, this is simply a gimmick.